Equal rights campaigners in Scotland have welcomed the announcement of a review of gender recognition law for transgender people. They say it could, for the first time, allow people to change gender themselves legally. But the move has been described by opponents as insanity. Andrew Black reports.
Vic Valentine identifies as non-binary, someone who feels neither male nor female, and that made growing up a confusing time.
We live in a world, I think, that tells us that those are the only two options. So I think for a very long time I didn't realise that there was another way I could be or another way I could explain who I was. So in some ways it was quite restrictive for me, but as I've got older and become more aware of these kinds of issues and spent more time with other non-binary people, that's really changed and I've felt much more comfortable and happy with who I am.
There is legislation currently in place to protect the rights of transgender people. Campaigners argue that's outdated. So they've now welcomed a pledge by the SNP to review how things stand, and that's something that's also very much backed by all of Scotland's main political parties. So now it's hoped trans people in future will be able to legally change gender themselves on their own terms. It's argued that's far better than what currently happens.
At the moment, you're not required to undergo hormones or surgery to change your legal gender, but you have to submit this really intrusive psychiatric report detailing what you were like as a child, sort of what your sexual preferences are, sort of all the kind of most intrusive personal things that nobody would want to have to send to a medical and legal tribunal for a panel to puzzle over and decide without ever meeting you whether you meet the grade of masculinity or femininity.
Despite recognition that change is needed, some argue the proposed reforms go too far.
I think we should be offering support, but I don't think this is the right kind of support, and I think this will do a great deal of harm if you're going to say to 5-year-old children or 6-year-old children, you get to choose your gender. It's crazy, and I think most people in Scotland would realise it as insanity.
Supporters of change know these reforms could face a stormy time. Nevertheless, they're determined to see them through. Andrew Black, reporting Scotland.